Today is Valentine's Day, the 14th of February. What a day today to begin our meeting. The day most of the lovers, irrespective of age, crush over this day to express their love. And the day when to many in this world a reason to experience the first of the first. And I also believe it is a day when most of the couples fight because their Valentine expectations aren't met. But to me, this day is all about expressing my love to my life. I strongly believe it is very much important to love your life and also to live the life that you love. As Becca Lee quotes, the purpose of this glorious life is not simply to endure it, but to soar, stumble, and flourish as you learn to fall in love with your existence. We are born to live and love every aspect of our life. With that said, I welcome fellow Toastmasters and guests present here to Smedley Speakers Society meeting number 756, and the theme for today, To Live is to Love. Before I start this meeting, I would like to request all the members and guests present here to kindly switch off your phones or keep your phones on silent mode. Also request to keep yourself on mute until and unless you're required to speak. And finally, if you choose to speak on sex, politics, and religion, kindly respect the sentiments of the audience. Now, getting back to the theme, to live is to love, and we all have infinite things to love in this life. On that note, I was curious to know and interested to know what our club's president likes to do in his love so that he can live life completely. And he mentioned that he loves watching the stars and learn more about astronomy and also to learn most of the history of especially the history of everything. To know more about him and what is his take on this topic, let's all put your hands together and welcome our president, Toastmaster Anup.
One thing which I have really realized, a realization happened to me in last 3 to 4 years is one of the basic needs of a man is that you have need for connection. You really love to be connected with people. And that connection happens in multiple levels. In Toastmaster, we are connected with all the friends we have it. And many times I have come to Toastmaster meeting just to meet my friends. And that's a big connection I had. And that's I really loved being in connection with all my friends. So that was one thing, the being a connection with everyone. Now, to live is to love. And the other thing, what I say, what do you love in your life? I mean, when I thought of it, I wanted to be a much better speaker. That's why I joined Toastmaster. I wanted to start something of my own. So I left my company, I started my own company. I feel that if you want to live fully, you should do the things which you really love to do. And third thing which is on my list is I want to travel across the world. I've been to some places because of COVID. Now everything is struck up. Anyway, now I have come to Delhi now. Today I'm in Delhi now. So I have traveled not to that far, but I am traveling a little bit here and there. So I feel is in our life, if you want to really live fully, you have to uh, do the things which you really love, and it can be multiple things. Either it can be love for your family and your dear one, your children, or it can be love for the things which you really want to do. It can be a self-expression of the things what we want to say. So I feel I see the whole thing in that way. So that's how I see it. Well, now let's see who are the. We have few guests who have come today. Um, I believe we. So let me just introduce the guest. I would start with Mrs. Zubriya. May I request
Ready.
Mrs. Zubriya to please introduce yourself?
Ready.
Hi all, I'm
Hi.
Zuberia here.
Yeah.
I'm from BTM Toastmasters Club.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm here because Toastmaster Francis had sent out the request. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
here because of him, and I know Priyanka as well. So
Okay.
trying to make new friends.
Okay. Okay.
So that is all from my end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Zuberia. It's really great to have you here. Yeah. Now, may I welcome the next guest, Mr. Vinay Reddy.
Good
Mr.
morning,
Vinay.
everyone.
Good morning. Yeah.
I'm Vinay, and I have come
consecutively. Previous week also I have come as guest, and this week also I have come as guest to see the session, how it works, the Toastmasters, everything. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm here.
Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Vinay.
Thank you.
Now, may I ask Mr. Rohit Nara to introduce himself?
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is also my second session. I have been to your previous session. I
Mhm.
loved that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm planning to join the Toastmasters soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. You're welcome, Rohit. It's really great to have all of you here. You're welcome. Now, going forward, the person who is going to take our session today is he's a person who is very intellectual, person who learns a lot, who really studies a lot, and who plans out a lot very well. This person loves to play badminton. He loves to read a lot of books, and his best hobbies, which he loves, is he loves playing with his kids. Please let me welcome the Toastmaster of the day today, Nadia Selvam.
Thanks, Anup, for such a wonderful introduction. Everyone is able to hear me?
Yeah, Nadia. Yeah.
Thank you. To live is to love. So every day we live is to love. Hence, every day is a Valentine's Day. How many of you like this idea? The thought of Valentine's Day rings a bell in me. It reminds me and of ensuring that I arrange the Valentine's Day gift for my wife in the right time. Otherwise, we know the repercussions. How many face this every year? And how many of you cause this every year? Let me show you the other side of the coin. Just today morning, I noticed that my mother, she has only one hand, and I saw that it is having a lot of burns in the hand, right in the place where she can hold and things like that. And it's a bit older wound as well. When I asked her about it, she told that this happened just 3 days ago, and I was right here. I asked her why she didn't tell us, because we were having a lot of things with my father's health and other things happening. So all of us were preoccupied and in pretty hard mode. So what she did was, even though she had an injury, she just hid it and applied some local remedies and just moved on with it. Not only that, she also continued her day-to-day work, which almost like 3 times a day she cooks for all of us, and maybe not just one dish, right? Multiple dishes to cater to my ailing father, us, and everything. So what this shows is not only expecting things from others, expecting like a Valentine's Day gift, which is very well deserved. It is also about giving without any expectations. Can such a person exist, first of all, hiding their extreme pain and continuing to do all their work as usual? I would say no. Can such mother exist? I would say yes. This gives an extension to our theme for today. To live is to love. To love is to give. This is the extension I find from my recent incidents. Just one meeting on 22nd of October 1924 in Santa Ana, California, has led Toastmasters becoming a worldwide phenomenon of building public speaking skills along with building strong relationships. One man's love for public speaking has brought confidence, comfort, and love to face public gathering, who once dreaded the demon called public speaking are now skilled and confident. The regular Toastmasters meeting consists of 3 distinct sessions. The first one is the prepared speech session, which I call as the arranged marriage session. In this session, members took time to prepare based on their learnings from their respective pathways manuals, based on their educational tracks, come out and present on a specific topic chosen by them. The second session is the table topic session, which I, for this meeting, call as the love at first sight session. In this session, the table topic master would just call out the topic and then call a person to speak on it. And the person is supposed to fall in love with the topic immediately and start talking on it. This session is meant to improve the impromptu speaking skills of a member. The third session is the evaluation session, which I call as the post-marriage session. Don't ride your imagination somewhere, please don't. Any married person can guess what I mean here, right? Especially Asim. Yes. This is a critic section, but unlike your spouse, evaluator assignees will be very gentle and constructive with their feedback. Our chief judge for this courtroom of evaluation is someone who is in love. Also not one, but many of us. Don't be jealous yet. Please don't. He is in love with Toastmasters for a long time. Badminton, mentoring, and the list goes on. Without much ado, let me request the G for the day, Asim, Prohit, and please put your hands together.
All right. Thank you so much, Nadian, for a nice introduction. I like the marriage part, that you feel I am an experienced person and, I'm just about beginning. So thank you so much for that. All right. In my role as general evaluator, I'm supposed to evaluate the entire meeting along with a team of assignees. I have 4 assignees that will be helping me out in the evaluation today. And let me now request the assignees to introduce themselves and their role, starting with timer Nikhil Periwal. Nikhil.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. I'm the timer for the day. Time is one of the most important and the scarce resources in this planet. And in Toastmasters, we believe that we should use our time very judiciously. In order to achieve that, in pursuit to achieve that objective, here comes the role of the timer. And in order to help you to indicate when to start, when to slow down, and when to stop, I'm going to highlight you the time. Typically, for a prepared speech, which lasts for 5 to 7 minutes, I'll be showing you the amber card at the end of 5 minutes. Green card at the end of 5 minutes, amber card at the end of 6 minutes, and red card at the end of 7 minutes. Some prepared speech timings can differ, and accordingly, I will adjust my timings for the last 3 minutes with green, amber, and red card. For evaluation session, the time limit is 3 minutes, and I'll be showing the green card at the end of 2 minutes, amber card at the end of 2.5 minutes, and red card at the end of 3 minutes. Table topic session, which lasts for where the time limit is 2 minutes. I will be showing a green card at the end of 1 minute, amber card at the end of 1.5 minutes, and red card at the end of 2 minutes. I will also be recording the time taken by each of the role takers and speakers, and I'll be giving my report towards the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. I may now request the accountant Andrew to explain his role. Andrew.
Looking at any kind of filler that is that is actually going to be exercised throughout the meet, right? And I'll be looking at so you get fillers in all sorts of forms. So one could be a crutch word. It could be someone saying, "I like," maybe, "I know," or it could also be just an unnecessary pause. You're just filling the space with air, and which means just the pause.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
I would now like to request the grammarian for today, Ritesh, to explain his role. Ritesh.
Today I've been entrusted with grammarian task. This is one of the challenging role I've ever taken up in my life. I consider one of the challenging because I have a beautiful pair of ear which always catches good grammar and when and some not so good usage, but I never know the alternatives. How can you correct it? But today I have to in a sense I have to give the alternatives also to find out good usage or not so good usage of the grammar. And I'll be also watching at looking at the usage of word for the day. The word for the day is adulate. The meaning is praise. It can be sometimes it can be used in a negative connotations also, like excessive or slavish admiration. One of the words can be found like newly famed celebrity enjoyed the adulation of his fans. I'll be reporting at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Asim.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ritesh. Lastly, the fourth assignee is the parliamentarian. May I request Gauri Prakash to explain her role, please?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to be parliamentarian. 3 rules for you all to follow in this meeting. Switch off your mobile phones or put them on silent mode. Refrain from any crosstalk and mute yourselves when you're not talking in the meeting. Be sensitive while talking about subjects like politics, sex, and religion. 4th rule for you all today is to have a smile on your face whenever you speak. Okay, I'll also be playing the role of a listening master and quiz you all in the end.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gauri, for explaining your role. You know, a Valentine Day date is like public speaking. If the date has to go well and you want all the adulation and love come your way, you need to ensure that the date is planned properly. And there are ingredients like the venue, like the food that you order, like what you say, etc., is extremely important for the date to go successfully. And so is the case with public speaking. If you want your public speaking talk to be very effective, you need to ensure that all the ingredients that assignees have talked about, whether it's the use of lesser number of hours or to adhere to time, etc., that is done well. So all the best to you on this Valentine Day, and let's kick off the meeting. Over to the Master of Ceremony, Narian Selvam.
Let us all put our hands together for a wonderful introduction to the evaluation for Asim and his team. Let's get into our first session, the arranged marriage session. Here the performers will deliver prepared speeches based on certain project learning and guidelines. We have 2 such speeches today. The first one is level 2 project 1 speech from presentation mastery. I would request the evaluator for this speech, Toastmaster Rohan Pradeep, to read the guidelines, please.
So to be honest, like any of you who know who the speaker is, I'm truly excited to be here and to be the evaluator of the speech and eager to hear what this particular speaker has to say. So before that, I would just like to give you the purpose statement of this particular speech. The purpose statement of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary communication style. And another purpose statement for this particular project is for the member to share his impact with using his particular or her particular communication style. And I wish all the very best to this particular speaker. And also keep in mind, this speech has been mentored by Chandal Kumar.
Thanks a lot, Rohan. So the speaker is an architect by qualification, a public speaker by passion, mom by choice, traveler in dreams. This speaker is a long-lost public speaker, having started her journey in 2000. I suppose most of you would have guessed. She is now in an entrepreneurial journey, nurturing her new baby, We Talk, a public speaking program for kids in ages between 8 and 16. She enjoys binge watching on Netflix as well and catching up late night with friends in New York. Yes, I'm sure most of you would have guessed it is Nitasha Kumar for her different shades of me. Let us all put our hands together to welcome Nitasha Kumar.
Different shades of me. No, not shades of nail paint that I love or the shades of red in my wardrobe, but different shades of me and my communication style. I strongly believe that to say something effectively and sincerely, it is important to understand your communication style. Now, as part of the project guidelines, Toastmasters International required me to take a simple test to better understand my communication style. It turns out that my dominant style of communication is direct. And the correct characteristics of a direct communicator are confident, focused, decisive, likes to feel in control, structured, and driven. For those of you that know me, do you think these adjectives fit my style? Maybe, maybe not. Well, that's what I thought too. And then, to my surprise, I received equal scores for the other three styles, which are supportive, initiating, and analytical. Now, being labeled a direct communicator was initially a little disturbing thought because I always thought of myself as being a supportive communicator. The characteristics of being a supportive communicator are calm, sincere, steady, willing to listen, gentle, and approachable. So I didn't want to take the results as, just take them for granted. So I thought to myself, let me spend the next couple of days analyzing the results of the questionnaire that pointed me in the direction of being a direct communicator. I started a journal and I made notes every day of situations and activities that made me comfortable or those that aggravated me. And then I started to study these in detail. Guess what? The more I went back to my notes, the more I realized that, hey, that survey was right. I do have a direct style of communication. I thrive on being organized. I live off my weekly list and daily brain dump. I enjoy taking the lead in organizing meetings in the community or planning the new member orientation right here in our club. Clutter of any kind upsets me and totally puts me off. Well, needless to say, I'm now pretty happy being labeled a direct communicator because I guess that is what I'm meant to be. I feel that this style lays the foundation for my effective communication, and the other communication styles can build on it. However, it goes without saying that to be an effective communicator, I need to be able to pick and choose the most appropriate communication style as and when a situation calls for it. For example, let's say I am planning my weekly menu at home, which in turn helps me to plan my shopping list, which in turn helps me to balance my finances. I, of course, cannot do it without being supportive and sensitive to the wants and needs of the children. Now, mixing supportive and direct can be a bit of a challenge, and because my philosophy when it comes to food is take it or leave it. But I can't always be assertive, right? Especially when it comes to kids. What do you think? Now, the next style is the initiating communication style, where the communicators are sociable, enthusiastic, and persuasive. I use this style when I'm organizing an activity or an event in my community. For example, recently I organized a speech competition for Republic Day. I quickly realized that while I'm willing to take the lead in organizing the event, it's going to be very hard to move ahead without initiating and inviting participation with enthusiasm and excitement. So what? I picked up the phone, made a dozen phone calls, sent out personal text messages to invite the kids to participate. Of course, participation was fantastic and the event was very successful. Moving on, the analytical style. The analytical style is cautious, precise, and disciplined. I use this style all the time when I put together my lesson plans and presentations for my classes. Analyzing the skill set or the needs of each child helps me prepare their individual goals in the journey of learning. Now, I know you would say the title, Different Shades of Me, in colloquial English, may carry a slightly negative connotation. But I am using this expression in a positive sense to say that irrespective of those psychometric tests and quizzes, you should be agile and flexible when it comes to using these 4 communication styles: direct, initiating, analytical, and supportive. And most importantly, introspect, innovate before you communicate. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thanks, Nitasha. Definitely, the IIC will follow introspect, innovate, and communicate. And it is very much in the core of Toastmasters. Thanks a lot. Let's put our hand there for a wonderful speech from Nitasha. The next speech is a level 2 project 3 speech from Innovative Planning Manual. Nitasha asked us to innovate. Now someone else is going to give us some inputs on how to do that. I would request the evaluator, Francis Gama, to read the guidelines, please.
The purpose of this particular speech is for the member to share some aspect of previous experience as a prodigy. The speech is about a time when the member was a prodigy. It may be from any time of the person's life, and the person may discuss any aspect as the experience, the prodigy experience, and the speaker is to be careful is not to report on the content of the introduction to Toastmasters mentoring project. Time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
So the next person I'm going to introduce is going to keep your fingers busy. I start counting hobbies that person has. Reading, writing, sketching, and strong interest doing two other adrenaline rush things as well. Skydiving, paragliding, parasailing, scuba diving, midnight trekking. So at this point, we have to stop enough for now. Yes, definitely person will come week with wonderful and we can observe the rest for the next lectures. When I ask this person about the theme of today, this is what I got. Everything that life gives is love. She is especially too keen on two things now. One is bungee jumping. Other one is be ready, that will make us all feel proud. The second one is to get the best out of Toastmasters journey. The topic is the yellow metamorphosis, and the speaker, as you would have guessed already, is Ruhi MH.
The mind is not a vessel that can be filled, but a fire that can be kindled. As once said by Plutarch, as the saying goes, I strongly agree that you can set your life on fire. And for that, it is imperative to seek those who can fan your flames. A lot of people have gone further than they thought they could because someone else believed that they could. To me, that someone else is called a mentor. And the process of fanning the flames is called mentoring. Throughout history, there have been examples of inspiring men and women achieving amazing feats, and they also expressing their gratitude for the support and encouragement offered by their mentors. Looking at that, we can definitely say everyone can be inspired by mentorship. Behind every successful story of a person, there's one mentor who has come along the way and helped them. Be it a formal or informal mentor-mentee relationship, each mentoring stories are unique and different. With that, I would like to share my recent and latest experience into the mentorship program that came to me after about a decade and more in this Toastmasters journey. Taking up this Toastmasters journey wasn't an easy decision because I have procrastinated this decision for more than 13 to 14 years. And finally, when I decided to take up this journey, I must say that I had taken this with a lot of apprehension. But then I realized the importance of a mentor. My mentor in this journey, Toastmaster Praveen Suresh, who is young, dynamic, talented, smart, handsome, has helped me kickstart this turnkey project with so much confidence that today I'm determined to pursue my passion towards public speaking. Believe me, because of my busy schedule being the mom and work, there have been times that I've drafted my speech Saturday night at 10:30 p.m., mailed him at 11:30 p.m., and we strike a conversation at 12 a.m. And finally, I have rolled a speech on a Sunday. With that, I must say he has been an approachable mentor. Just a click away, he's there. He has been the most responsible and devoted mentor as well. I also have no doubt that Praveen will make a big impact on his mentees' lives because of his infectious passion and everlasting enthusiasm to help his mentee. He has all that it takes to be a good mentor, and I can bask him in adulation. Not everyone can be a good mentor. And why do I say so? That's when I would like to share my second mentorship story and experience. This came to me when I was undergoing a CA training in in an organization. It was not part of my articleship. And at that moment, when I was undergoing this mentoring training under a person, I realized that something was not right about my mentor. But rather than picking up his negative qualities, I would like to sum up what I realized. That a good mentor is not someone who walks ahead of you to show you how they did it, but who walks alongside you to show you what you can do. To make this realization even stronger, at the same point of time, I got into an informal mentor-mentee relationship with the same senior within the organization with another senior person. Since I have had the positive impact with that informal mentor-mentor relationship, I would like to mention his name. His name is Arun. Arun offered me unique insight into the workings and situations and various workings in that organization, and he consistently offered me constant support, motivation, and wisdom that gave me I changed dramatically. I became a different person before what I entered that organization. Arun showed me what it takes to be a good mentor. A good mentor builds up the mentee. They enable the mentee to become the best version of themselves. As a protege, at some point of time, I must agree and accept the fact that every mentees are just in need of someone who can recognize their potential and motivate them and encourage them. As Sean Stephenson rightly says, a good mentor can be more informative than a college education and more valuable than a decade's income. To me, mentoring is a two-way street. When one mentors, two lives are changed. The mentor gets wise while mentoring, and the mentee gains knowledge. In this mentor-mentee relationship, it is very important as a protege to observe your mentor. Learn through observance. There's a lot of learning just by observance. Because someday you never know, you might have the opportunity to return that favor and make a difference in someone else's world. If you give me a chance to title or give a definition to the process of mentoring, I would like to title it The Yellow Metamorphosis. You know why? The color yellow, according to the color psychology, signifies the best color to create warmth, cheerfulness, to build mental ability, to boost your creativity, and also to build better networking, communication, and boost your confidence. And metamorphosis, you look into a dictionary, you will find it defines metamorphosis as a striking change in appearance, character, and circumstances. That's what mentors do. They act as a propelling force to convert the mentee's dreams into reality. They are the ones who work on the mentee's strength, and they inspire the mentee to become more, learn more, do more, and become more than what they are capable of. To me, that relationship defines the yellow metamorphosis. Thank you.
Definitely, I can relate to your speech, and especially considering next I'm going to call one of my mentor to take the session forward. Let me first request the time manager, Nikhil, to tell us how much time each speaker took. Nikhil, can you help us with that?
Sure, Nadian. There were two speakers today. The first speaker, Nitasha, took 6 minutes and 36 seconds. And speaker number 2, Ruhi, took 6 minutes and 54 seconds.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Nikhil. Let us put our hands together for Nikhil as well as mainly for Ruhi for a wonderful speech. So the next person I'm going to call to take us forward through the second session of today, the table topic session, which as I call the love at first sight session. The table topic master today is, I'll slowly narrow down and you can visualize and guess as we move along. So our table topic master today is very young, very talented, very experienced, very knowledgeable, very attentive, great mentor, and the one and only person who almost everyone falls in love with him as soon as they interact with him. None other than Francis Gama. Let us all put our hands together to welcome Francis.
Thank you very, very much, Nadian. What a lovely day which celebrates love, Valentine's Day. I think the world today has probably overdone this whole business of love and confined love to just one area, which is probably in Greek called eros. It is called erotic love, passionate love, love of the body, the type of love that illustrates sexual attraction, physical desires towards others, and lack of control. But love, actually, if you look at the Greek terminology, has 4 different kinds of love. One is what I just told you, which is eros, and there is something called philia. And philia means love of friends and equals, affectionate love. And that cannot be avoided, it cannot be deleted from this whole concept of love. There is another dimension of love called storge. It is love of parents for children. And the very popular love, which is very difficult, is called agape. It is selfless love. It's something like love of God for man. And there are many other small kinds of love which we'll probably look at as we go on. Friends, as we dwell on this theme of love, I have a series of topics for people present here. I have noted down few names here of people who have not really played many roles, and I'm going to throw topics at you. The topics are going to revolve around love, and you have 2 minutes. You must speak for a minimum of 1 minute, and you can go up to 2 minutes, and you'll be given grace time of about 15 to 20 seconds beyond that. I challenge each one of us to use the word for the day, which is adulate, with its other variants like adulated or adulation, which means excessive praise. Having said that, I will repeat the topic once. That means I'll say it once and repeat once. I will not say it again. So listen to it carefully, because the topic is coming for you. The first topic I have is a very simple one on love. There is only one happiness in life. There is only one happiness in life: to love and be loved. There is only one happiness in life: to love and be loved. I'd like to throw this topic to Ankita.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for giving me this topic. And I don't believe that there is only one type of happiness in this world. Of course, loving someone and being loved is something that encourages us to do better. But we also find happiness from a lot of other things, like loving some activity or loving some hobby, loving your work. As simple things like that brings you happiness. For me, being able to, I think many of you know this, but being able to bake is my love, and having people eat what I bake is me receiving the love back. So everyone will have some sort of many different kinds of happiness, activities that bring them happiness, and I feel you should go after it as much as you can, so you'll always stay happy. uh, Another important thing I feel is, more than receiving love from someone else, it is being able to love yourself, which not many people do, I feel. And this is a message that I have learned the hard way, maybe, or maybe I never was told to do that from when I was a child, from my childhood. I was only able to understand that from listening to the songs of this Korean band called BTS, and they spread the message of loving yourself through their music, through their campaigns, which encourage people, which encourage the young youth of the world to first love yourself rather than expecting it from someone else. And I would like to leave you with the thought of finding the love for yourself. Thank you, and over to you.
Very great job, Ankita. I thought that was dealt very, very well with. I'm moving on to my next topic. The next topic is what some great guy said. And your response should be who said it, and you can explain it. You can change the character that I've written here. Okay. I love Mickey Mouse more than any woman I have ever known. I love Mickey Mouse more than any woman I have ever known. Who said this, and what do you think about it? Syed Nadeem.
Thank you so much, Francis, for giving me the topic. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So I don't know, who said this, but from my point of view, I would say, it is me who said it, because during my childhood days, the only thing which was special for me was watching cartoons. So we all know, right, when we are kids, we are so much into these cartoons that, that is like life for us. So we just see all the time, and that is where we spend most of the time. So for me, it is like, I have said this in my life. So that is one. Yeah. So first love, they say, the first love is very special. And for all of us, the first thing what we see and what we observe and what we get obsessed with. So that is what is special. So yeah, so this is what Francis might take on the topic.
Much, Nadeem. The person who said that was the one who created Mickey Mouse, Walt Disney. And my next topic is for someone or people who love chocolates, and this is how it goes. All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt. All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt. I'd like to throw this topic to one of our guests, and that will be Zuberia.
Toastmaster Francis. We all have gone through different relationships. For example, being a woman, I've gone through as a sister, as a wife, mother, as a friend, lots of relationships. Definitely in every relationship there is something called love. Definitely it does change from one to other in every relationship. But however, there should be some sort of a specific love for a specific person. For example, in my life, the chocolate, I would give it to my son. So he has been the person, even though he's just 5 years old, but every moment that I live is for him. I love for him, and every time I have any sort of depression or any sort of even a single tear on in my eye is not being, my son does not allow me to go through any sort of upsetness. So every time I'm upset, he just comes and then does something so that I can have a smile on my face. So I would say that every person should have some chocolate flavor in us, so that we should not be dependent on anyone. We should, as Ankita, Toastmaster Ankita said, we have to start loving ourselves. So probably being instead of being dependent on the surroundings, or this generally happens with women, instead of being taking care of everyone first, we have to put ourselves into that position, so that we take care of ourselves first, love ourselves first, and be capable first, and then give whatever that you want to the rest of the family members and to the world. So that is all from my end. Over to you, Toastmaster Francis.
Wow, thank you so much, Zubaria. That was a nice take on the topic. My next topic goes like this. Love is like an hourglass. I hope you've seen an hourglass. It is a glass shaped like that, if you can see my hand. Okay. Love is like an hourglass. It empties the brain and fills up the heart. Love is like an hourglass. It empties the brain and fills the heart. I'd like to throw this topic to the love bug in our club, Priyanka Nair.
What can I say about the topic? Like, see, when you're in love with someone, you don't think of anything else other than the concerned person who's in your life. So, like, what can I say? I have too many people and too many things in my life which kind of gets emptied from the brain and comes to the heart. So, literally, I have my parents, my future fiance, and Toastmasters, and one person in Toastmasters in particular. I don't want to take the names, but all of y'all is the most special love of my life, which I cannot literally stand away from. One, Toastmasters, why I'm in love with Toastmasters is because it keeps me connected, and the love which I receive from all of y'all is like taking me to the next level and motivating me to take up things and feel that yes, I can go take up many roles and be confident in my day-to-day life. And plus, it has helped me a lot in my current situation in my work scenario. So, of course, when love is there, it always comes from automatically from your brain and drains to the heart like an hourglass. So, yes, as and when you can, once it gets emptied on top, you can always put it the other way around so that it gets emptied and goes back, which we can't do as humans. So that's my take on it. Back to Francis.
Thank you, Priyanka. We will set an investigative team to find out who that Toastmaster is. We'll move on into our next topic. This is an interesting one. Money cannot buy love, but it improves your bargaining power. Money cannot buy love, but it improves your bargaining power. I am wondering who to give it to. I'm thinking I'll hand it over to our guest, Mr. Rohit.
I very much agree with your the statement. Money can't buy the love, but it can increase the bargaining power. For that matter, money and love, all these are the just an imaginary realities created by human for his comfort and to live with the community. And money has this immense power. Like it improves your social status, or it can be the indication of your social status. I mean, money, whenever the money is involved, or the person with great monetary stability is just risk free. I mean, whenever a person wants to be in relationship with someone, he sees the relationship in terms of longevity and how can they sustain themselves, like that, sir. So definitely money and the way you live, everything influences the person you love, or the in fact your procedure of love. That's it.
Thank you very much, Rohit. I'm going to go into another dimension of love, which is philia, which talks about friendly love. A friend is what the heart needs all the time. A friend is what the heart needs all the time. I'd like to throw this topic to Vinay Reddy.
Because a friend is someone who we can communicate with all, because you have some downs and ups in your life, right? So if there is a someone friend or who you can communicate with, it's very good, right? I mean, if there is some low time, you can go near him and you can share, and he will give his feedback, and it may lift your spirits and soul. And yeah, a good friend is always who can ready to communicate and share your love and share your downs, is a one you can really good. It's a good find, really. I think a friend is also necessary in our life, because if you are suddenly depressed, I mean, you want something, right? You want some pressure to lift it, or then I think this friend comes in the place, fits in that place, and kind of takes away all the pain from you. So the love which friend gives at that time is immense and not comparable to anything, I think. Thank you.
I think this will be the last topic given the time that I have. This topic reads like this. A successful marriage requires falling in love many times. And the statement continues. I'm not going to continue the statement. I want you to fill up the blanks. A successful marriage requires falling in love many times. I'd like to throw this topic to Toastmaster Shilpa.
Thank you so much, Francis, and good morning to all the Toastmasters. Yes, a successful marriage definitely needs falling in love many times, not only with the spouse, with children, with husband's family, with their relatives, and many more other things, with work, with home, with the relatives, with the guests, and our own friends also. But every marriage has ups and downs. It's not just one person's hand. It's a mutual relationship. So if the two wheels of the marriage go hand in hand, then definitely the journey is very smooth. But I'm sure those who are married here, they must have felt the bump many times. It happens and then it goes. Um, it's a part of life, and every day is a new day in marriage. We are here to enjoy the day and to let it go. But since it's a Valentine's Day today, every spouse, no matter whether a man or a woman, every individual just feel they should get some gift. Well, I have got something and I still don't know what it is. I hope whatever I have got today must be something good which comes to my expectation. So yes, falling in love many times is what is needed in a marriage. Back to you, Francis.
Thank you very much, Shilpa. Toastmasters, permit me to just throw another topic for a guest who requested for one. The art of love is largely the art of persistence. The art of love is largely the art of persistence. Our guest, Toastmaster Avinash.
So much, DT Francis, for giving me an opportunity. Yeah. Love. So if we talk about love, so we need to break down the very meaning of love, because love at first sight, there is a sparkle, and there is the emotions are high, the enthusiasm are high, there is an adrenaline rush, which is happening at the initial phase of love. But then there goes a phase where the initial glitter and glamour of love fades away slowly, and that's when you start realizing, more than the external appearance of a person, and what they have to offer, and what a person, that's when you start uh, uh, coming out of the imaginary thing and coming to the reality and understanding the person as they are. So when everything fades away and there is only one person who is there in right of front of you, and that person is the person who you are in love with. And when everything else doesn't matter, like uh, uh, the beauty, the money, and the everything else doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what exactly matters is the character. And once you realize that, and you start loving the person for what exactly they are, and the real love starts when you start persisting with the initial love that you started to pour out on that individual. Even though you don't feel the best of the feelings for that person on that day, but the commitment and the promise that you made for the person initially will definitely take you to the ups and downs of any relationship. And secondly, I would like to mention that a love has several phases. As individuals, we know that not every day is the same day. We have different uh, experiences at our workplaces and different experiences in our family. And we manage, at the end of the day, life goes on. In the same way, a relationship, and maybe in a relationship in the form of marriage, or a love, maybe for a family member, uh, the one which helps us to keep on going is persisting and being committed to the initial promise that we made. And the
Time
true
up,
love
time up.
doesn't come in the initial phases of any relationship, but the true love comes for those who persist and stay to the commitment. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Avinash. Friends, I'd like to close with just this one statement. What I like about love is what is often said in those three or four Hindi words, which was converted into a movie. Kuch kuch hota hai. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thanks a lot, Francis. And it's not just a table topic session, but a great learning for us. It's almost an education session guided by you and the people chiming in, especially a lot of guests. They pitched in and they did very well as well. It's really nice to see this. Let us put our hands together for the table topic master for a wonderful session, and the participants, and especially the guests. So, Avinash, I do agree with you, and it's a very nice statement that you made. Can you please take one more step and talk about the love at first sight with the Smedleys in this meeting, and also introduce yourself, Avinash? Avinash?
Thank you so much, DTM Nadia. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Avinash. Can you introduce yourself and
Hello.
share your experience with our...
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Avinash. I am part of SAP Speak to Lead Toastmasters Club. I joined today's meeting at Smedley's Club for the first time with the invitation from DTM Francis. It's been a wonderful experience, and the quality and the class which all the speakers showed during this Toastmasters meeting is amazing. This gives me um, motivation and inspiration to work on my communication skills and to reach to the level at which the speakers spoke. Especially, I really liked the speech from Toastmaster Natasha, where the class and the preparation with which she came up to deliver. And she also mentioned about this particular point where every day in and day out, we need to exuberate the confidence, and we need to have that courage to show up that confidence so that we do well in our day-to-day life. And thank you so much for this opportunity, and would like to come back again and again and be part of Smedley's Toastmasters Club. Thank you.
Brings us to the end of our second session, where I asked the Sergeant at Arms to be ready for the ballot. I request the timer to give us the report for session 2. Over to you, Nikhil.
Once again, all the table topic speakers were within the time limit. One of the guest speaker, Avinash, took 2 minutes and 44 seconds, which exceeded the time limit. And two speakers, guest speakers, Rohit and Vinay, spoke for less than 1 minute. Rohit spoke for 50 seconds and Vinay spoke for 40 seconds, which was less than the minimum time limit of the table topic session. So all others were within the time limit. I will share the exact time taken in the chat box. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nikhil. Thank you so much. So we now move into the third session, the post-marriage session. Please put our hands together for a very experienced person with respect to either marriage or Toastmasters. If you consider either of this, right, decades of experience, let us put our hands together for DTM Asim Pro.
You know, Aryan, the Toastmaster experience is just half of the overall marriage experience. So I don't know whether I can do full justice to both of them, but let me just get started. The
You
meeting
just
really.
celebrated your wedding anniversary, so
Yeah, I know.
so you can share that also.
Yeah, sure, Natasha. Yeah, thank you. Okay, all right. So the meeting started just in time, 10 o'clock. We were just bordering on 10:01, but we just managed to start at the nick of time, which is very good. I think over the last so many weeks, we have been starting on time, which is a very healthy sign for the club. Okay, all right. So credit for that goes to both the president and the sergeant at arms. Sergeant at arms Ruhi, I think your address was crisp, which is what is expected of a sergeant at arms. It infused the necessary energy right at the start of the meeting, which was also done well. You covered all the key aspects that are expected of a sergeant at arms, whether it's to really announce the rules, to really speak on theme of the meeting. Okay, the best part of your talk today I liked was the introduction of the president. Okay, it's difficult to introduce the president in different ways, and I think the way that you chose today was to connect it with the theme, which really came through very well. It was very innovative, very well done. I think introduction of the president was the highlight of your talk today. Is there anything that you could have done better? And the answer to that is yes. I think one suggestion that I have is when you spoke on the theme. Of course, a large part of the theme you spoke in the beginning itself, but even before you introduced the president and you talked about the rules in between, you again came back to the theme. My suggestion is to just talk about the theme in one go so that different parts of your speech are distinct to the audience. Okay, but all in all, I think a fabulous Sergeant at Arms talk today, Ruhi. What does she deserve? A thunderous round of applause. Okay, moving on. President Anup Menon is not new to delivering on presidential addresses. He has done it in his earlier avatar as president. But this avatar of president is much more assured, much more confident presidential addresses, Anup. And today was no different. Very emphatic presidential address, something that got us hooked on to what you were trying to say. You spoke on the theme and you covered the ground well. I like the fact that guest introduction, uh, you invited the guests to introduce themselves, which is very nice because the last term I remember that we missed it sometimes, but this is one thing that you have corrected, which is quite good, Anup. Well done on that. I also like the fact the way you introduced Nadian. Again, taking a leaf out of Ruhi's book, you connected and you talked about the master of ceremony linking his introduction with the theme, which I feel is very innovative. Because it really brings a different dimension to a person. Done very well. Okay, there's only one suggestion that I have, Anup, and that's about when you introduce the MC, because he's one of the main role takers of the meeting. Add a little more content to it. Okay, you can either have similar kind of content for all the speakers, or you can vary based on the importance that they are playing in a particular meeting. So you would have seen when you invite a guest speaker or a keynote speaker, the introduction of the keynote speaker is longer than others. Okay, keeping the same logic in mind, MC is an important role taker, so a little more content for his introduction. But what I liked was it was connected to the theme. All in all, a very emphatic, very nicely delivered presidential address, Anup. Let's give a round of applause to Anup, please. Before I move to the other role takers, it's time for us to take evaluation of the speeches. Let me invite the evaluator speech number 1, which was delivered by Toastmaster Nitasha Kumar and evaluated by Rohan, to have the evaluation of Rohan of the speech. Rohan?
Very good morning to each and every one of you here once again, and a very good morning especially to Natasha. So Natasha, the question here is, whenever I listen to a speech or evaluate a speech, I try to ask myself, is it a bookmark speech? Is there something in this particular speech that I can learn for myself that maybe everyone in the audience could incorporate in their future speeches? And Natasha, to be honest, my answer to this question is always a yes. Every time you speak, there's something, and there's a small aspect that each and every one of us in the audience could always take and incorporate in our future speeches. And because of it, there were 2 highlights of your speech that I truly loved. And if everyone could incorporate it in their speech, it would just change the dynamics of our particular club. So the first aspect is your beautiful voice modulations. The thing is, when you spoke about a direct communicator, you were stern, you were strong and assertive while speaking. But when you switched to a supportive communicator, you were calm, you were more sober, and we just felt that, wow, it was neat. And another thing is, when people you can always say whatever you want to say, but how many of us practice what we actually speak? But the thing is, we saw you practice what you spoke in your speech itself. So the thing is, what I observed is, at least, that you spoke about how we are supposed to be flexible and agile. And very recently, what I heard this small article about Narayan Murthy, wherein someone came and asked him what was the only piece of advice he could ever give to any startup or any business, and the only advice he said was, be flexible. And you somehow managed to get that aspect into your speech, which I truly loved. And another thing I liked about your speech was the transitioning. I want to ask each and every one of you in the audience, whoever can listen, hear me out here, is, did any of you notice that Natasha's speech did not have an introduction, a body, or a conclusion? I felt like it was a smooth transition throughout. It was just a verbal communication between the audience, and I didn't hear any salutation. And to be honest, I didn't miss the salutation. I didn't care that Natasha didn't say good morning, but it made sense because it was just a communication between you and I. And Natasha, that was truly amazing. And I also like that you covered all the points in your particular checklist for evaluation. You spoke about all the different types of speech styles, all the different types of communication styles, and you spoke about what your style is. And in the end, you also gave a piece of advice to everyone in the audience saying that be agile, try to change, try to be flexible when you're supposed to be. And that was really great. Now, coming to if there are any points of improvement, to be honest, I had to search for them, but maybe there are a few technical glitches I can catch here and there. To be one was there was an echo when you were speaking. I don't know if it was just for me or it was for everyone else, but there was an echo while you were speaking. If you could, I don't know how to avoid that, but if that could be avoided, it would have been great. And another thing was, I loved your facial expressions while speaking, but there I couldn't notice much of hand gestures. If that was there, it would have been a cherry on the cake and it would have been brilliant. It would have been a perfect circle, and I don't know that as well. But just to close this evaluation, your speech was truly brilliant. It's always amazing listening to you, and to touch bases upon your amazing voice modulation and your transitioning. Thank you so much, Natasha, for your speech.
Rohan, for evaluating Natasha's speech. I'll just add one point, Natasha. Something that stood out for me was the organization of the speech itself across 4 different areas, and you talked about each one of them with anecdotes. So well done, Natasha. Okay, to evaluate Rohan, I like the fact that it was a well structured evaluation in the sense that you very clearly brought out 2 points about Natasha's speech, which really is good because for a speaker, if he or she gets to know, okay, what really stood out for them is certainly a plus because they can look at that, and if there are any suggestions, they can work upon them. The crisper the messages, the easier it becomes for the speaker. So I think you did that very well, Rohan. Is there any suggestion? I do feel there's one area, and that's that each project is different in Toastmasters, right? So when you're evaluating, give a little bit of higher priority to the project objectives, and then come to the other parts of what you liked and where the speaker can improve upon. Okay, so that's my only suggestion. But a top class evaluation, Rohan, and a top class speech. What does the evaluator and speaker deserve? All right, moving on to speech number 2, which was delivered by Toastmaster Ruhi MH and evaluated by Francis Kama. May I request Francis to evaluate Ruhi's speech, please?
Sure,
Francis?
I'm here. Thank you so much, Asim. Mr. General Evaluator for the Toastmasters and Ruhi in particular. I like the pace at which you are moving. While many senior Toastmasters are moving at the pace of a rabbit, at the pace of a tortoise, you are surely moving at the pace of a rabbit, and you're already completing level 2. Congratulations on that. What I liked about your speech was surely the opening. You spoke about the mind being a vessel, not a vessel, but fire. I thought that was a very nice way of describing the mind. And I like that beginning word to define a mentor about fanning the flame. It really caught my attention, and I was looking forward to who this person was who fanned the flame. And then you went on to talk about 3 people, if I remember right. One person's name you did not mention, you opted not to mention, and the other 2 were Praveen and Arun. I thought you did a pretty good job mentioning them and talking about them, and I'm sure in your own way you gave them credit for what they contributed to your life. A few other things of positiveness in your speech was you surely have to your credit good knowledge, clarity of thought, which brought across what you had to say. Now, if I was to give you any suggestion, I think it is more on the project guidelines. The project guidelines said that you must speak about your experience of being a prodigy. Now, I felt that this did not get justice because you spoke, I felt in my experience of listening to other Toastmasters, my own speech, I felt very little of your experience came out. I felt there was a lot of theory, and in the Indian language, when we say gyan, I saw a lot of gyan on mentoring coming. So it was subtly going back to the project guidelines of what it was, but very little of your experience as a prodigy. Now, you may be okay in doing that because you may not have had an experience as a prodigy, which justifies the fact that you spoke little, but I just want to bring to your notice that you spoke little on your experience and more on the theory. You may want to try it sometime later as you move on your Toastmasters journey and get more experience as a prodigy. Another one suggestion is maybe you should try and avoid ending your speech with the word thank you unless you really need to thank the audience. Here you didn't really have to close it with a thank you. Great job done, Ruhi. Great pace. All the best. See you at the top soon. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Yeah, thank you, Francis, for a comprehensive evaluation. Ruhi, one thing that stood out in your speech for me was your gestures today. I think with every speech that you're delivering at the club, you're becoming more and more comfortable, and with that, gestures are automatically flowing. And your confidence also shown through today. So, excellent speech, Ruhi. Coming to Francis's evaluation of Ruhi's speech, Francis, as I said, comprehensive evaluation, which is very nice. You dissected the speech and looked at it from different angles, whether it was about content, whether it was about her style of speaking, whether it was close to the project guidelines or not. I think it was done with different lenses, with absolute clarity. So that's something that I liked about your evaluation, Francis. One suggestion that I have is about a little bit of more focus on style and less on content. Okay, I think that can really give practical tips to the speaker more. I think it's a matter of debate for sure, but I do feel that talking a little bit more about style can give more insights to the speaker on where he or she can improve, because content everybody has heard. Some aspects can always be talked about, but a little bit more on style. But all in all, I think it was a wonderful evaluation, comprehensively done, Francis. And you shown, okay, you don't earn DTM just like that. You have to be good in so many aspects. So well done, Francis. Well done, speaker Ruhi MH. I would now like to request the report of assignee number 1, timer Nikhil Periwal. Nikhil, can we have your report, please?
Thank you, Asim. I'll just share my screen so that quickly we can just see the time taken. So none of the speakers are disqualified on time. All of them are within time limit. All the evaluators are within time, and table topic speaker, 3 speakers are disqualified due to time. Other than that, everyone is within time. Thank you.
The report. All right, I'll start off with I think, yeah, Ruhi has 3 repeated words that she used and 1 crutch word. And then Nikhil with 15 unnecessary sounds. And Natasha, 2 repeated words. Asim, 18 unnecessary sounds and 1 crutch word. And Priyanka, 2 crutch words and 3 repeated words. And then I have Shilpa with 4 repeated words, 2 crutch words, and Rohan with 9 unnecessary sounds and 3 repeated words. And then our guest Rohit with 3 crutch words, 2 I have 2 repeated words and 9 unnecessary sounds. And then Avinash with 3 crutch words, 6 repeated words, and 26 unnecessary sounds. Zuberia with 2 repeated words and 23 unnecessary sounds. and I've lost. I think, yeah. And Toastmaster Francis with 19 unnecessary sounds, and Nadian with 8 unnecessary sounds. That's all from Syed with 1 crutch word and 2 unnecessary sounds. Shilpa, did I say Shilpa? I think Shilpa with 2 crutch words and 4 repeated words. That's it from me, Toastmaster. I think. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, for your report. Okay, let me go to the table topic master of today, Francis Gama. Francis, I loved your table topic session today, not because the theme was about love, but because you did it so well with some very interesting topics for people to speak on. I like the fact that you set the context with talking about those different you know options of love, eros, philia, etc. I think that was nice. I also like the fact that you urged everybody to speak, to use the word for the day. I think it's nice if different role takers can just keep reminding people to use it. It's nice, and I think as table topic master, you did that. You also gave topics to non-role takers, which is again a hallmark of a good table topic master, and that's what you did today, so that they also get an opportunity to practice public speaking. I think you gave them a chance, which is nice. Like the fact that you gave topics keeping in mind who you are giving topic to. So Shilpa got the topic of speaking on the marriage, right? And you kept youngsters in mind while you were giving other topics. This is not to say that people who are married are not young, but I'm just saying that you just kept that in mind, which is again good of table topic master to really be mindful of. Okay, just one suggestion, Francis, and that's about the initial introduction that you had about different, different types of love. It just needs to be a little bit shortened, because as table topic master, you just need to get started and give opportunities to others to speak. Yes, good to set the context, but quickly get on with the table topics after setting the context. I think that's the only suggestion that I have. All in all, a very engaging table topic session where sufficient number of guests also got topics. Well done, Francis. Can we have a round of applause for him, please? I now request a report from Parliamentarian Gauri.
Good morning, everybody. So there were 2 instances of disturbance that I found. It would be nice to not connect audio or maybe mute when you join the meeting, particularly. Okay. So here are my 5 questions. Between what ages does Natasha's We Talk cater to? Age. Priyanka or Nikhil?
8 to 16.
8 to 6.
Yeah, correct.
8 to
Correct.
12.
I am by the way, I am 15 years old.
We can see.
Okay, fill in the blanks. Dash and dash before you communicate. Dash and dash. Fill in the blanks before you communicate. Sorry, Ritesh?
Introspect and innovate.
Okay, correct. What are the 2 things Ruhi is keen on recently? Rohan?
Bungee jumping.
Yes, and second one?
Paragliding.
No.
Toastmasters.
Correct. Okay.
I'll give paraglide in New Year.
No, I think that was in
It was
the
part of the introduction somewhere.
Yeah, but
Okay.
2 things recently. Okay, the next question. What is love of parents for their children called in Greek?
That only Francis knows.
No, except okay, Asim.
George.
Correct. Okay, last question.
I support this response.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Whose advice was it to be flexible?
That is Rohan's.
No. This was by a famous person. Sorry?
Narayan Murthy.
Yeah, correct.
No, I've
Rohan is also
written it
famous.
because I have.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Get
I
all
didn't
the
mean it like that.
opportunities.
Okay. Okay, that's it from my end. Thank you. Back to
Yeah,
you,
thank you so
GV.
much, Gauri, for your report and for your listeners' role. Can we have a round of applause? Okay, the last report is from grammarian Ritesh from Bihar. Ritesh, can we have your report, please?
Thank you, Hasim. So one of the guests, it was I have come here to see Toastmasters and everything. It, uh, it could have been I have come here to see everything about Toastmasters. Then I liked about Nadian's speech. I liked his analogy. He kind of prepared a speech. He said that he compared prepared speech with arranged marriage, and then post marriages about feedback session. Then some of the word in introduction. He said travel and dream. Then Valentine Days he compared it as public speaking. Coming to a speaker part about Natasha, she used it very well. Triads, she has been used. She used it very well. Triads is one of the figure speech, uh, one of the basic requirement for power Toastmasters objective part project 4. So I'm a big fan of triad. It adds the value. Uh, Alliteration as well, introspect, innovate, um, in and once she talked about characteristics. She used the word. She used three tribes. One of the words she used is confident. I think it could have been confidence. Perhaps Natasha can correct me. I'm not sure, and I may have misheard it. Okay. Then second speaker, second speaker, her speech was also better. I liked all part of this speeches. I enjoyed throughout the speech, but special highlights were alliteration, everlasting enthusiasm, then basking in adulation. She fumbled with one word, which I confused it. Prodigy and prodigy. Protege and prodigy. She fumbled and then I confused because Gama sir also uses the word prodigy. I don't know what should be the correct use. It should be protege or prodigy. Um, then she also talked about a good mentor is a good college education, better than good college education and decades income. Um, then about the TTM, table topic master, table topic, all the table topics, it was so well that you can use it in your speeches also. So one of the best thing about the table topic, if you use those, maxim or the lines or phrase which is given, if you can collect it in your brain or store it somewhere and use it, it really adds value in speeches. So I liked all the topics. Mm, then one of the evaluator, he said it was fully amazing. I think the fully is a superfluous. Just amazing is a big word itself. Then one of the members, he used the word key. It's a Hindi word, Hindi preposition. I believe it was unnecessary. That's all about it. Back to you, Asim. That was the first.
For your grammarian report. It's time for me to come to the master ceremony, Nadian session. Nadian, what a lovely MC role that you played today. To live is to love is to give is something that I'll remember. Very well done. There were a lot of innovations, and one thing that really stood out for me was innovative use of various parts of a Toastmaster meeting that we all talk about: prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluation. You did it in style, connecting it with the theme and making it very interesting with some humor thrown in there. So that was done very well. All the introductions, whether it was about G or speakers, very very aptly done, nicely done, and I think that came through well for me as a listener. I think you're somebody who manufactures humor on the spot. I think that's a major plus for you as a public speaker. Very few can do it. People have to practice it for days together to get humor right in their speeches or public speaking assignments. But you can do it on spot. So you leverage that, utilize that as much as you can. Of course, you need to be aware, okay, how much of humor is right for a meeting or your role you're playing, but that's a plus. And I think in life, we need to use our strengths more often to advance in life than to really worry too much about our weaknesses. So from that perspective, I think just leverage it, humor on the spot aspect. I also like the fact that you notice some new guests come in since the time the president has asked them to introduce themselves, like Avinash, and you requested him to introduce himself, which is great. I think that means MC is attentive, and you did that. Okay, one area of suggestion is that yes, you requested Avinash to introduce himself, but there was another guest called Munish who joined. Uh, he got missed out, and the moment he realized that he was not given a chance to introduce, he dropped off. Okay, I don't know whether he dropped off because he had something urgent, but he dropped off for some reason immediately after that. Okay, so that's one suggestion. The other is, as MC, you also need to infuse a little bit more energy. Okay, so you have a particular style, Nadian, wherein you go in a very slow manner, taking your time, getting that humor in place, and then you talk about it. But a little bit of more energy is needed, when you are the MC. So that's one suggestion that I have. The other suggestion is in terms of increasing the pace a little bit. Okay, so that will add more color to your MC sessions. But today's was a good act, a nice act that I liked, as Nadian Salmon playing MC. So somebody who does a good role, plays it well, what does it deserve? A good round of applause. All good things, that come to an end. So does this general evaluation session. Ritesh has something to say.
Yeah,
Yes, Ritesh?
I missed out on the word for the uses of the word for the day. A few people used it. Asim used it. Ruhi used it. And Francis used it. No, Francis used it. Sorry. Anyone else?
Thank you, Ritesh. So over to the master of ceremony, Nadian Selvam.
Thanks a lot, Asim. Now you all know why I adulate Asim in Toastmasters and especially as a general evaluator. Thanks for showcasing your experience with marriage by finding all the faults or improvement areas. You were also showcasing your experience with Toastmasters by being very clear and very, very gentle about it. Who else can do this for us better than the backbone of our club, Asim Prohit? Let us all put our hands together for wonderful session from Asim and his assignees. So those were the 3 sessions in a Toastmasters meeting, just jumbled up a bit in a different order. First, the marriage was arranged, then love at first sight. Now you know what to expect. You definitely, or we all definitely deserve feedback, and a very good feedback which we got from our general evaluator and his assignees. Let me wear the hat of the presiding officer and then take the meeting forward. Ruhi, the ballots counting is almost done.
Yes, I've got the results with me.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Ruhi.
Okay. The best Toastmaster for today is the table topic master, Francis Gama. And best assignee for the day is parliamentarian Gauri. The best speaker for today, without a doubt, Nitasha Kumar. Best evaluator for today, Rohan Pradeep. And finally, there is a tie in the best table topic speaker. And it goes to 2 people, the best table topic speaker. One is Ankita and the other one goes to Shilpa. Congratulations to all the winners.
Thanks a lot, Ruhi.